Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you everything that I've made for 2023 so far. This includes crochet and the tiny little bit of knit I do. And you've seen a lot of these projects before in previous videos. I'll link them down below. But in this video, I'm going to give you, show you the picture and then give you a little backstory on why it was made and if it's something I sell on at markets, what I typically charge for it. Now, I'm going off what I think I'm charging for them, but I don't remember 100% the exact price that I set for everything. So if you've seen another video and it's slightly higher, slightly lower, that's just because I'm guessing. But I figured while I was showing you guys this, you can get an idea for yourself. And these are also in no particular order because it's just how they loaded on my computer. So they're not in this is from January to now type of order. But yes, I'm going to stop talking and let's get going so this video is not a million years long. The first thing I made is this pink headband. I made this with my Addy knitting machine. I do want to do a tutorial for the headbands that I do now, but this was the first one I made and I just did not like how it came out. So this went in my clearance bin. It might still be in there and I think I'm charging $5 or $8 for it. The next thing that I have that I made is this Dan Halen. This was when I was still doing trademark custom orders, and I'm not super in love with how he came out, but he was definitely a funny project to make. If you know, you know. And he was $60. Then this is a picture of the headbands that I make now. I make them in various sizes from baby all the way up to adult, and I charge $18 for one, or they are 2 for $30. I like that variation of the twist much better. The next thing I made was this little mushroom. This originally I was following a pattern and then ADD took over and I got way off count, so I ended up finishing it however I finished it. So there is no actual pattern for this guy, but I kind of like him because it reminds me of pink cauliflower. I think I sold him for 20 or 25. The next thing I made was another custom order. This one I think was $75 and it was a husky. I did the ears a little too wide I think, so it's kind of given a chihuahua, but the customer really liked him and I got a 5-star review on my Etsy. And I'm going to close my curtains real quick because that sun is just a lot. Okay, that's better. The next thing are these leggy frogs, the infamous baby leggy frog and regular size leggy frog, I guess. This set I think is 2 for $20. I think 25 maybe. The next thing I made 3 of these actually. These were gifts for my nephew. It was one of their birthday parties, so I crocheted a little whale for them. Yeah, and they were cute. So I did not sell these. If I were selling them though, I would probably price them about $20, I think. They work out pretty quick, even though it's worsted weight yarn. This frog guy, I get so many compliments on him, but no one's bought him yet. I think he's priced at $30 though, so maybe that's why. Maybe I should go down to 25. But I don't know, there was a lot of sewing because his eyes are sewn on, his arms are sewn on, his feet are sewn on, and that belly patch is sewn on. Yeah, so it's not really an efficient pattern, but he is cute and I like him, but no one seems to want him. I make these bees. Currently, the bees that I have at the Beasley Farms store are priced pretty low. They're $8 to $10 depending on the size. I'm pretty sure when I do my actual markets, this guy's $15 though, but he might be 12. This is a good picture because I was showing a friend that different yarn weights and different crochet hooks change the size of things. So the first guy, the little keychain, it is sport weight yarn with a 3.5mm hook. The second guy is worsted weight yarn with the same 3.5mm hook. The third guy is worsted weight yarn, but I think it was made with a 3mm or maybe even a 2.5. So that's why he's a little smaller than the ones on either side of him, because even though it's the same yarn, it's a different hook size. And then the big guy obviously is a blanket yarn. So that's I was showing her as an example of why things, even if they're like made in the same time frame, shouldn't necessarily be priced the same, because the customer is going to look at you like you're crazy if your like little golf ball size whale is the same price as your softball size whale. All of these were sold in between like 15 and 20 bucks, I'm pretty sure. If I remember, maybe it was 10 to 20. But obviously like 10 for the smaller and then like 20 for the larger. The next thing was this like little duck or chicken modification. I don't remember if I sold him, but I'm pretty sure he was priced at 15. This I made for my mother. My baby just yelled. He's not mad. He just has bouts of excitement that he expresses very loudly. But I made this panda for my mother. She paid for it. I don't remember how much I charged her. Probably not a lot. But my little sister, her favorite animal was like a panda. So like after she passed, I made my mom a panda. And they're keeping it, I think, on my new nephew. He was born in March, on his changing table. I made this little bunny peep. I think I sold this little bunny peep for like 30 bucks after Easter too. So I'll link to the video right here about like my pricing strategy. But it does not change typically after a season passes, at least for like a little while. I'll take my items to events like after whatever season or holiday and give it a couple more tries, because I was honestly debating lowering the price on this, but I just hadn't changed my tags, and then it ended up selling after Easter for like the full price. So that was a little lesson for me. I hated this squid. It was colored, what is it called? Like multicolor yarn. And I held it double, but I did not line up the colors, and I should have, because I like hate the way it came out. But he sold for either 10 or 15 bucks. This penguin, I'm pretty sure, sold for 20. I like this pattern. It's super easy. And it comes out super cute. Hi, buddy. Yeah, that was a bird. And this one's an alien. An alien. We love this little alien. This is the Weeby alien. I'm pretty sure I sold him for about 15 bucks. These are really fast to make and they're super cute. I sold the seashell, I think, for about 10 bucks. Maybe it was more, but yeah, this was kind of a pain to make for being like how small it is. But I don't know, it was definitely fun to make. I had like higher aspirations that I never got around to dipping the seashell into like watered down glue to make it, like when it dries, it would make it firm. So that could have been cool. That would have made it into like more of a decor piece. I could see somebody having like an aquatic theme like bathroom and having their like little crochet bowl of like seashells. Yeah, so feel free to steal that idea if you like it, and if you hate it, don't tell me. The next thing were these chunky boy mushrooms. Look. Yeah, look. The bigger one is the original pattern. The smaller one is like my modified smaller version. Because it's a free pattern, I don't feel like super bad about it, so I will eventually be like releasing my smaller version based on like the original. But I'll give credit like in the pattern. I don't remember the like person's name. This is on like Rippler. But I'll like link to the original one so you guys can see, and I won't like put instructions because it's not my pattern for the bigger size one. I will just do instructions for my like little guy here. But yeah, I really like these and they sell well. I haven't had any on my like last couple of markets because I haven't had a chance to restock, but that's definitely a super fun pattern. This guy was a lesson to not hate your own work. I really hated how this one came out. It did not look like the picture on the pattern. It is a carrot. But yes, this was a lesson to not hate my own work because I really did not like how this one came out. And it did not look like the pattern whatsoever. I think they sewed the head on, whereas they gave us like instructions to like crochet the head on. So it just really changed like the shape of how like the neck worked. But the first event I brought him to, I sold him for $40. So yes, I almost didn't bring him because I didn't like him, and I almost underpriced him because I didn't like him, and I'm glad I didn't. So just price based on like time and size more than if you like something or not, just in case, because like I was wrong about him. I don't think I've sold this little crab yet, and I think I sold this crab for like $9 or $12 maybe. I know it's like pretty puny for like that price, but the way the pattern is written, and I should have like changed it, but all of these like legs are sewn on, which was like a pain, so it took more time than it looks like it took. So that's why that's priced probably a little higher than it needs to be. Might have sold it on my last one, but I don't think so. I liked how it came out though. This was a custom order based on a picture I was given.
Strawberry. Is it strawberry, Mom?
It is a strawberry. I think I charged like 60 bucks for this guy. I don't got a lot to say about him. Oh, I think his name is Airy. I found out later that it's like a character from like a web show, I think. So normally, because I didn't know his character, like normally I wouldn't take it knit, but because I didn't know it was like a character, I was just given like a picture. I just made it. But I try not to like do anything that's trademarked because you can get in trouble for that and like sued, and like that's not worth it to me. So this little stand has a couple of different things that I made, and we'll kind of go down the list. You've seen the seashell that's at the top. On the one side without eyes is this like little freehand stingray I did. That's in my clearance bin. I think it's like $2 just because I was messing around, and it's got no eyes or anything, and it looks kind of weird. Across from him is one of my like mini octos. This size I think I sell for $7. The one in front of him, I think I sell those for like 20. They take a while to make, even though they don't look like it. And then the one on the bottom in the middle are my mini ones. I sell those for 5 to 6 depending on the event. And then going up the other side is the little white whale. I think I'm selling those for like 10 or 12 right now. I think. I don't remember, and I really should, but I don't remember. This is a keychain. I sell all my keychains for 15 typically, but I did just go down to 10. It's that like Angie coffee pattern that is on YouTube. It's not my video. But yeah, I made it in this color and in a multicolored color that you'll see at some point in these videos. In this video. A bunch of mini octos. These are all $5 to $6. I made an array of pink. They were super cute. More mini octos. Those were keychains, so those were 15 at the time. They're now 10. My little octo army right here, where you can see like all the different colors I make. This oyster and pearl sold, I think it was like $12. This was a fun little pattern, and I like how it came out. This was another one that I was going to dip the pearl in like glue water and then roll it in glitter, so it was like hardened and sparkly, but I just never got around to it, so it sold out market like as is. This is the plush version of the same mini octa that I make. It's an all from Jade pattern. I don't think I said that yet. The bigger version, the plush version, I sell for $9, and the little version I sell for $5 to $6 depending on the market. And here's like an array of like all the colors that I made for my like last market when I stocked these. So it wasn't my last market, it was just the last one that I stocked them at. Most of them at this point have sold, and I wish I could tell you which ones were like the popular colors, but I do not remember. I'm sorry. I don't think this carrot sold yet either. I have him priced for I think 25 or 30 bucks. This is a keychain of a whale that I made, and I tried to go off like memory for this pattern and messed it up because, well, the color change is not in the right spot, so I had to, because that was for an order, I had to make it again. So I made it again, and then I made it right because I used the pattern, as you can see sitting right there. I think it's Knit Grits, but yeah, that was my bad. Rainbow mini octos. More rainbow mini octos with their bigger counterpart. The little ones in front are $5 to $6, and then the ones behind them are priced at $7 because they're a little bit bigger. This is a pattern modification of Katie Bean Creative's free mushroom pattern. I think these guys are either 12 or 15. Her version doesn't have like the rim around the mushroom, but I like to put that. At my last event, I changed the label that was like on them and was calling them ice cream though, because sometimes people pick them up and know it's a mushroom, and sometimes people pick them up and know and think it's an ice cream. So I just like leaned into the ice cream thing because it was summer. So yes. Let's see. Oh, I made this little bow. This was part of an order, but I took a picture of just the bow because it was like a separate pattern I used, and it came out super cute. These fidgets I sell for like $8. This one was one I made. I don't remember if I used a pattern or if I just modified a pattern for this one. This was a custom order. I think I only charged $60 for this, and in hindsight I should have charged more, but I was still working on my custom order pricing at the time. And then a lot of this ended up having to be free-handed because there was a pattern on Etsy for it, and it looked pretty similar to this. But that lady does not know her way around like writing patterns. So I had to end up frogging a lot of what she had written and then like email her and tell her like, listen, you should not put untested patterns out. Like, you can keep the money, because she offered me a refund, and like that's not what it was about. But because I'm somebody who buys patterns a lot of the time for my actual like custom orders, like I need them to be right, and because it's so easy to get your patterns tested for free by just using social media, I don't think there's like really a huge excuse for a pattern that just like outright doesn't work. Now, like a typo, that's totally one thing. Like, I'm sure my patterns that I have like in the works and the one that I have like up on Etsy right now, I'm sure there's a typo somewhere in there. But at the end of the day, even with the typo, the pattern is still going to work. This pattern just like outright did not work. Like, the rim of the ship was like a big wavy mess because there was way too many increases. So I had to like frog and then figure out how many increases and like the pattern for the increases to get it to look right. And I was fairly like new. This was one of my, maybe even my first, no, this was one of my first custom orders though. So like I didn't necessarily have that skill at that time. So I was really panicked about messing this up. But all 4 of those like smokestacks are sewn on. That like little white like cabin part, which I don't really know like the name of for ships, that is sewn on to like the deck of the ship. The deck of the ship is sewn on like into like the inner top part of the ship. So yes, there was like, it definitely just should have cost more than 60 bucks. But I got a good review on that, and it was kind of fun to make because I would have never thought to make that. This is another one of the fidgets. I'm pretty sure at this point I free-handed this one completely myself. This was something I made for markets. I'm pretty sure I'm selling the dumpling, not the like pot, for like 15 bucks maybe. This is an Emmy Creations pattern. She has a channel on YouTube. Also, her name's Chloe. Your version of this will look different than my version of this because, again, I like ADD'd out when I was working on it and skipped a bunch of rows. But like, you know, when you do that, you just finish it off. Because I'm not frogging and going back unless something's like actually wrong. Oh, this ghost. Cute, right? Never gonna make it again. This yarn to do those like bobble stitches with is a nightmare, like an absolute nightmare. It's got, oh, it's glow in the dark yarn, if I didn't say that. It's glow in the dark yarn, and it's got like no give, no stretch, nothing. So to do bobble stitches with it, I don't know, it just was way more challenging than it needed to be. This ghost is probably like golf ball size and took like an hour and a half. Yeah, so I have him priced for like 20 bucks, even though that's like underpriced time-wise. I had to take his like size into account. This is a Sew Dino. You just saw this pattern in this video right here where I recommend no-sew patterns that work up quick. He's super cute and I like how he turned out, and he's sold by now too. He was either 15 or 20 bucks. These are my scrunchies. My scrunchies are either $6 or 2 for $10, so like $5 each. I make them in an array of colors, and they're like jumbo yarn that I make them with. And yes, I like them. This turtle, I think is like 20 bucks. It was kind of a pain to make. I really don't like making turtles. They always kind of look weird to me. I absolutely love this possum, and I need to make more of him because I got so many compliments on him, and he did sell at the first market I brought him to. I think it was priced at 20 bucks. This baby shark, I think I priced him at like 10 or 12. Between 9 and 12, I can tell you that for sure. It's really easy to make. He was also in that same video where I recommend patterns. This is strawberry. I think this strawberry was like 15 bucks. I can't remember if I bought this pattern on Etsy or if it was a free pattern, but either way, super quick to make. These wristlets are like my own pattern. They're like a half double crochet, pretty much either 5 or 6 across, and then like all the way down. And you just do it till you have about like 10 inches for like your wrist, and then like sew it. I've never actually sold any of these though, so I make them in a couple different colors. No one seems to care about them. I like them though. This is not an aerial pattern, but because the new movie was coming out, I will cop to the fact that I use like traditional like Little Mermaid style colors on her, just because the movie was coming out. So I'll take that one. Normally I do not do trademark stuff, and if you're gonna like take anybody's like trademark work, you should not do Disney, because Disney has sued like small business owners. But I don't know, I was excited about the new movie. Not that I actually plan to see it because I'm not a child, but it's just like nostalgic that they made The Little Mermaid live action. I think that's cool. I never did end up seeing the live action version of The Lion King either, because like I said, I'm not a child anymore. No shade to like the adults who are going to see it, I just don't have like a big interest. But I wanted to do something to commemorate the moment. So I used I think this was like a no-sew pattern, and she did not originally have a top on, which I thought was weird. So I like freehanded her like little shell cup top. But yeah, it came out cute. Came out super cute. I'm a fan. Oh, and she's like 30 bucks. 35? Between 30 and 40, because that hair though. Woo, curls. I know people like making curls. I do not like making curls. This pug was a custom order. I think he was like 70 bucks too. He came out super cute. Free-handed his like little collar. I thought it was fun. This is my pattern, and you can see the tutorial to make that right here. Works up in less than 30 minutes, and it's super cute. I made him like a little squatty mushroom because the Mario movie had come out, so it's supposed to be like similar like inspiration to the like Mario mushrooms. But yes, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I mean, it would be weird if I wasn't, because it's my pattern, but you know what I'm saying. This was a bee keychain and tiny yarn, and it was a nightmare to make, so I only ended up making 2 with the tiny yarn, and now I make them in like plush or worsted weight yarn, and they're just a little bigger. But it sold for 15. Well, technically it sold for like 19, but I used like $4.20 of that to ship it, because it ended up being purchased like through my Facebook. This was one of the turtles that I made for my collaboration with Kim, which I'll link this video right here. And this turtle pattern was mentioned in my like no-sew pattern video, because it's just like a good pattern, and it comes out a good size, but there's like no sewing at all, and I think it's a pretty easy pattern, especially if you are open to, while you're working on the pattern, going to her videos that she links in it to YouTube, so you could see, because of like how the legs are like worked on and how the head is like sewn but without like actually using a sewing needle to the shell, it can kind of be confusing like in written form, but the videos, once you like watch it, like it's a breeze. So yes, I really like this pattern. And in the pattern pack there's like a whole bunch of customizations, so I've made like quite a few variations of it at this point. This is my cow pattern that I have not released. I made the body, but I think I used like another pattern, because that's supposed to be a heart on his like upper chest, to like make the spots. But he came out super cute, and I like him, and he sold for like 35 bucks. These, well, this is a picture with one of the other turtles that I made for my video with Kim. There was a third one that I don't have a picture of for whatever reason. I ended up giving these away, so these weren't priced. If I had to price them though, I'd say like 35 bucks. Oh, I made this little turtle. It sold, I think it was like 15 or 20 bucks. I did not like how this pattern came out though. I made this for my son. This, if I recall correctly, is also a no-sew pattern. I don't see why it would require sewing, maybe for the tab, because it's basically just like a cylinder. But it was a super easy pattern. My son's obsessed with soda, so this was his soda that I made him, or as he calls it, a sola pop. This was a gift. You could see that like little bow that I showed a picture of earlier, and then it's like a Squishmallow Yoda. I sell plush Octos, I think for like 15, if I recall correctly. Maybe more than that, maybe less than that, I don't remember. But I think this is a Sweet Softies pattern. I do, not that that's a bad pattern, but I do think I like the speed of All From Jade's versions of Octos better than that pattern. This is my Hairy Otter. This is a pattern modification. So I took the original Otter pattern that was in that video where I was talking about like the no-sew patterns. I made them a little bigger, and then I gave him a lightning bolt and like crocheted his little scarf on, so it's Harry Otter. Definitely a fan. Oh, and he's like 25 bucks, so, because that scarf with all those color changes, I don't know what I was thinking. I should have like made them like wider, because it was, that scarf took like as long as it did to make the actual otter. So that was me not thinking intelligently. He's priced high, and he's not sold yet, which I find insulting, but I wouldn't be offended about keeping him because it's like one of the favorite things that I've ever made. This is the other coffee keychain, and it's $15. I'm pretty sure I've sold one of them, but I don't remember which one. Basket O little bees. These are $9 bees. I've sold most of these, and I put the ones that didn't sell in the store at Beasley Farms for like $8, so I dropped it a little bit. I think the pink was left, and then like a couple of the yellow and black ones were left, but like the other two colored ones were not anymore. So yeah, bees sell pretty well. Speaking of which, I have to email the lady and see if any of my stuff has sold yet, because when it was getting set up in the store on this past Sunday, so the 9th I think that was, I had people, as I was setting it up, like stop and like inquire about them and like the prices. So I'm hopeful that some sold. This is an axolotl. This axolotl sold. I think he sold for like either 20 or 25 bucks because he took like a while to make at the time. I'm faster now. He was like one of the first things I made though, I'm pretty sure. And now I'm just like better, so I could probably get him done in less time and sell him for less, but at the time I was going off how long it took me. So this is the mallard duck. I get a lot of compliments on him. You've seen his like regular like duck / chicken counterpart earlier. Like I said, I think those are 15. More variations of little tiny octos, $5 to $6. Oh yeah, some things that were not included in this video were on this shelf, so I grabbed a picture of it. On top, next to the Chunky Boy mushroom, is what I'm pretty sure is a Katie Being Creative No Sew frog. It's $15, I'm pretty sure. On the second shelf down, you've seen everything but the skunk. The skunk was also $20, just like the possum that's on that shelf. And then on the bottom shelf is a manatee and an egg that you haven't seen yet. The manatee was either $25 to $35. It sold. And the egg was, I think, $20, and it sold. And then there's some stuff on this shelf that you hadn't seen yet also. The little fox in the corner, he was $35. He sold to a lady. That's my pattern. That's available on my Etsy, which I will link below. Next to him is a little flower sprite. She sold. She was either $30 or $35, I'm pretty sure. She might have been no sew. Her hat would have been no sew if I didn't change the kind of yarn I used on like her hat. But she was actually very easy to make. I found that pattern on Etsy. And then this shelf also had one thing that you hadn't seen, which is that ice cream. That ice cream sold. It was either, I think it was like 15 or 20 bucks. And it sold, did I show this? This is like finger knitting. I did not sell this. I used this as like a throw pillow in my room. It came out laughably small, but I bought yarn, but I bought yarn from a lady who was like selling like a tote of yarn, like on Marketplace. So it was like used yarn. And I liked this yarn, but I looked it up and it was discontinued. So I had like the one skein of it. So I used it to do this pillow and it came out cool. And it's like finger knit. But it is like laughably small. It's like that big. I don't remember if I showed that earlier. But now that is everything that I've made that I've taken a picture of in the first 6 months of this year. And I'm planning on doing another video like this after the second 6 months of the year. And I hope including prices, even if it's like a price range for some of them. And I'm sorry that it was, but you can watch my other videos. They were like linked, but I'll also put them in the description. I hope that was like helpful. I know when I was first starting out that nobody seemed to be super transparent about what their prices are, and they're just like, I made this and this and this and this, and then they come back and then they're like, I made $500, and you know, so it's like helpful, I think, when you tell somebody like your prices. Though I will say, don't just price it that way because I do. You should actually make it and price it based on the amount of time it took you to make. And then I also like to factor in size because I don't think something this big should cost more than something this big, unless there's like a very specific reason, like the little thing has like a bunch of details on it, you know? So worsted weight is cheaper than like blanket yarn. So I think it's fair to, if you made it in worsted weight and it's a lot smaller, be priced differently. I hope that makes sense. And now I feel like I'm rambling. But yes, like I said, don't just price because I price that way. I know some of this stuff that I made like a long time ago would be priced different now if I made it again because I'm faster. So it's okay to like not have your prices be set in stone either. And now my son is asking for some pizza. So I'm going to go, and if you'd like more crochet content, you can check out this video right here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!